want your business to go to another level, you must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Testing Results, yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor. Toni Harris Taylor. Testing Results, oh yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Welcome to the Marketing Strategies for Drastic Results show. My name is Toni Harris Taylor, CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I teach entrepreneurs and franchise professionals how to show up, be up, follow up to blow up. I also am a multi-unit award-winning franchisee with Network in Action. Network in Action brings together business owners to create connections, collaborations, community, get some coaching so they can make more cash together. Welcome. Today, I want to talk about a topic that's not easy to talk about. It's a topic that lots of people avoid, and that is, in order to show up, you need to feel like your best self. And oftentimes you are not successful or as successful as you want to be because your health is not great. And so I know many of us are really working hard in our businesses and our sales, trying to make dollars meet, ends meet. And sometimes it causes us to put our health on the back burner. But I know it's so important for you to be your best self if you're going to get out and get after it. Now, listen, I am not a health nut, but I have been on a weight loss journey for over 30 years. I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of it. But I have to be on it, because I know how I feel when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do and how it impacts my ability to show up and make the money, meet the people so I can make the money I need to make. And so you have to take care of your health. And if you don't, your health will sit your behind down. It'll make you sit down. So you're going to sit down regardless. So you might as well do it on your own accord and not based on your body shutting down on you. Today's guest is Michelle Petties. She has an amazing story of how she turned being a food addict into her business. And she is and she's passionate as I am about what I do. So we may never get off this call, but her story is something, because it was something her uncle said that changed her life. And I want you to hear that story from her. Bottom line is, if you don't have health, you can't create wealth. And if you don't feel your best self, do something about it. Get some help. And I know that because over 30 years, I have had to get help in different forms to maintain my weight so that I can be my best self and go out and help y'all become your best self. I can't help nobody if I'm not able to be my best. We'll be right back after these messages with my guest, Michelle Petties.
Are you a franchisor grappling with how to stimulate your franchisees' growth and revenue? Are the phrases, "I'm not comfortable networking," "I'm an introvert"? Enter Toni Harris-Taylor, your answer to these challenges. With her expert guidance and program, you can empower your franchisees to conquer networking and community outreach. Toni's program is designed to equip your franchisees with the skills and confidence to show up to the right events with the right people. It goes beyond making connections. It's about nurturing and leveraging these relationships. It's about following up, collaborating, and generating leads and referrals to maximize conversions. And ultimately, increased revenue for your franchisees and for you, the franchisor. Are you ready to unlock this potential? Reach out to us at 832-479-2088. Let's embark on this journey of growth and success together.
Welcome back with my guest. Fabulous. Look at that hair. Look at them earrings. We both got on earrings today.
Right.
Coach Michelle Petties, welcome.
It is so good to be here today, Toni. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So, in your own words, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Michelle Petties, as you all know. I am a food story coach. I am a TedX speaker. I am the author of Leaving Large, the Stories of a Food Addict. I am a food addict in recovery, and I will support, teach, help, show anybody who is ready to make the mindset shifts, the belief system shifts that they need to make, that they want to make, so that they can successfully manage their weight and really fully live into their purpose.
Yeah. You heard my monologue. And I talked about no health, no wealth.
That's right.
If you don't take care of your body will shut down, and then you'll be out of business anyway. So tell us your uncle's story, because that's a fascinating story.
Yes. Okay. Can I tell you a story before I tell you my uncle's story?
Sure.
So before I even got to the uncle story that you're talking about, the watermelon story, I went to my doctor, and my doctor said to me, stress will kill you. Mm-hmm. And at the time that I went to my doctor, I was at what I think at the height of my career when I was working for someone else, making the most money that I'd ever made in my life. But my health was the worst it had ever been. So it's now looking back on it, as successful as I thought I was in my career, as much money as I thought that I was making, if I understood about health and mindset and taking care of myself, if I had understood then what I understood now, I could have performed at a higher level. I could have produced at a higher level. I could have been more proficient. But I couldn't see past where I was. I couldn't see that my health was an impediment until my doctor said to me, stress will kill you. And when she said that, it really brought me face to face with the fact that I was in a career that I loved. And I really it didn't make sense in my mind that something that I loved to do was stressful. I worked in media, I worked in advertising, I worked in sales. It was 100% commission job, 100%, right? If I ate what I killed, right? If I didn't sell, I didn't eat, right? And I would tell people that this is my job. And every time I would tell somebody I work on 100% commission, I sell advertising, they would say to me, oh my God, that must be so stressful. And Toni, my response would be, oh my God, oh, it's not stressful. I love my job. It wasn't even I didn't understand that I was eating my way through the stress, that I didn't feel the stress because I was covering up with food. I didn't understand that every time I went to a gas station to fill up my car, because I was an outside salesperson, I'm getting something to eat, right? That I'm eating the chips, I'm eating the soda, I'm eating the snacks, I'm eating all the fast food every time I fill up my car. Gas station, convenience store equals picking up 2 bags or something. Right? And that, because I'm in traffic. I'm going from spot to spot. I'm going to presentation to presentation. I need to make my quota. I never felt any of that or was able to identify it as stress until I went to this doctor and she said, Stress will kill you. And I made the connection to that in my weight and my weight, which had yo-yoed from the time I was 20 until the time I was 60, 700 pounds. That's a 7 and 2 zeros, as I say in my TED Talk. I'd lose 30, gain 40, lose 40, gain 50, lose 50, gain 60. And that went on for 4 decades. It went on for 4 decades. And somehow it was hidden, because even though, you know, I was on the outside successful in my career, you know, I had the Mercedes, had the house, I had all but I still wasn't, I wasn't connected to myself. So I met this doctor, and the doctor and I get to the point where I realize not that I need to go on another diet program and lose weight, because I had done that before, right? What I needed to learn was what was happening. I needed to understand. And so in that doctor's office, when she said that, and she asked me 1,000 questions, right? I prayed for understanding, to understand what was going on with me and food. And she gave me the program. I started losing weight. I was doing good. I knew I would, because I had done it before.
Right.
But there was a time as I was losing weight and I was on the program and I was doing well. And the doctor had said to me, if you follow this program, you will not be hungry and you will lose weight. And that was happening. But there came a point when I felt I wanted to eat, Toni. And I had to sit back and say, why do I want to eat? Because the doctor just told me if I follow this plan, if I take this shot, I will not be hungry. And I'm not. But why do I want to eat right now? And as I let that question kind of wash over me, this story bubbled up. And when this came up, this was like 2019. The story I'm about to tell you happened in the 1990s. And I don't know if you can tell by listening to me, I am from the South. I'm from a little small town in Texas. I'm from Marshall, Texas, right?
I know Marshall, been there.
So that's where I grew up, you know, right? My grandparents were farmers. I grew up with them, and we were on my uncle's farm. And we were barbecuing and cooking out and having a good time on the farm. And when that happens in Marshall, we bring out the watermelon. Yeah,
sure,
right? We bring out the watermelon. So I was bringing out the watermelon, and I said to my uncle, "Hey, Billy, you want some of this watermelon?" And you know, he was the cool uncle to let you call him by his first name. So he's like, and he said to me, "No, I don't eat watermelon." And I'm like, what do you mean you don't eat watermelon? Because it's your watermelon. It's your farm. Everybody eats watermelon. We all eat watermelon. Why don't you eat it? Right? And he's like, I just don't eat it. Well, I'm like, there's got to be a reason. Do you not like it? Do you just not, you don't want any right now? Do you want some later? And he just kept saying, I just don't eat watermelon. Intuitively, I knew there had to be a reason. So I kept pestering him. And he finally broke down and told me that when he was a little boy, now my uncle's almost 70 years old at the point that he's telling me the story.
Sure.
When he was a little boy in Marshall, Texas, 1930s, he and some friends got the bright idea that they would steal a watermelon, right? It was hot. It was a hot summer day. They wanted something fun to do and cool off. They stole a watermelon, and my grandfather found out about it, who was his father. And two things about my grandfather. My grandfather was a railroad worker, and my grandfather was a church trustee. And when my grandfather, when the news hit him that his son had stolen the watermelon, he was not happy.
Right.
In fact, when he found out about it, he beat my uncle. He beat my uncle so severely that he never ate watermelon again.
Wow.
And when he told me the story, in that moment, I asked him, well, Billy, do you think maybe the lesson was supposed to be thou shalt not steal? Right? That wasn't that supposed to be a lesson? And my uncle just looked at me and said, I don't eat watermelon. And that was that. So I didn't understand the importance of that story then.
Okay.
As I reflected on it, as it bubbled up in my spirit in 2019, I said, oh my God, this is it. This is why I have been having all these challenges all these years. I am just like my uncle. My uncle did not eat watermelon because of the memory, because of the event, because of the experience, because of the trauma he associated with watermelon. And if he ate that food, it would remind him, it would take him back there. It would take him to that place, to this feeling that he did not want to feel. And
Right.
my grandfather beat him because, first of all, he didn't want anybody thinking that his son was a thief, that he was raising a thief. He didn't want anybody thinking that he could not provide for his family. My grandfather would work every day. You know, my grandmother was a stay-at-home mom. They didn't call him back that. They didn't call him then back that, but that's what she was. And third of all, and I just thought about this recently. This is 1930s. Marshall, Texas, in the segregated South. He does not need his son stealing from the wrong person, somebody that might kill him. So he needed to correct him at the point of infraction in a way that made an impact. So as I thought about that, I said, oh my God, I am just like my uncle. The reason that I can't stop eating certain foods, the reason that I respond these certain way to sweets and all these comfort foods is because of the memory and the event that I associate with the food. It was like a light bulb went off in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And once I was able to separate food from feeling, that's when I found freedom. That's when I found peace. And that's what I do as a food story coach. I teach people how to separate these stories that are true so that we can run stories for truth.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing. And until I heard you speak, I saw your TED talk and I saw it in the book. I was like, she's right. The reason we go to food for celebration and it's the gratification, the feeling that we get and where it takes us when we eat certain things. We're going to take a quick break, Michelle, and we're going to come back and continue this conversation because it's good. And so we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with Michelle Petties. We're back with Michelle Pettis, and she's told us the story of how she came to understand that food and feelings go together, and that now she helps people separate food from feelings to get free. I heard you, girl. I heard you. So what's your process with working with people?
So I have a couple of different ways that I work with people. I have a 52-week coaching program, and my program is around a transformation of mind, body, and spirit. Because this mismanagement of food that we have, it is not about our relationship with food. I don't even say that. It is about our relationship with ourselves. And when we can get connected to ourselves, and we can learn how to manage food and our emotions around food with mastery. So at the core of what I teach is that every extra bit of weight, every extra bit of everything that we have on our body, we gain it in our heads first. And we have to lose it through the same portal. In everything in this toxic food environment that we exist in is about behavior. How much can I eat and how much of it can I have? What can I eat and how much of it can I have? It keeps us, it's a $93 billion industry that says it's the food, it's the movement, is in it. And I'm not saying that those things are important, but what I am saying is that before you can do the 80% food and the 20% movement, you have to do the 100% mental. You have to do the 100% brain. You have to do that work so that you can manage the food. So I have a 52-week program, and it is a transformative program where you make little changes every week, and at the end of 52 weeks, you are brand new. You are unrecognizable. And I go through this process of being brand new. The first principle is begin and believe. The second principle is rise up and reinvent yourself. The third is alignment and accountability. The fourth one is new, nourishment and nutrition. D is drink, sleep, and right. It is drink, sleep, and right. If we don't do anything else but drink the water, get the sleep, and write our truest intentions, if you do those three things, everything else will fall into place. And those are the three things people don't even pay attention to. And the juiciness, the secret sauce is we need to pay attention to the things that we have historically not paid attention to. Drink and write. Then the next N is no is the new yes. Because when you say no to one thing, you're saying yes to another automatically. So we have to decide what the yeses are. The last is evaluate, ask, and think. So we have to evaluate the food. We have to ask about it. We have to think about it. What am I feeling right now? Is it really hunger or is it anger? Is it frustration? Is this really food? These are questions we have to ask with every single thing that we put in our mouth. And then after we go through that process, we get to the W, then we look back, because that's some work. That's some intention I'm talking about. Then you got to sit back and just say, wow. You got to look at the progress that you've made over these past 7 weeks and celebrate the changes. And then after we do that, wow, we start all over again. We go back to begin and believe. We rinse and repeat, because every time you go through that brand new cycle, you're new. You're brand new at the end of those 7 weeks, and you go back through it. You start at an elevated level, and you keep elevating up. And at the end of 52 weeks, your thoughts, your beliefs, you are completely different than you are at the very beginning.
I love it. And I love the acronym. Well, I got to keep it moving, lady. We could talk all day. I warned the people at the beginning. So how has networking helped you grow your business?
Oh my God. So let me tell you something about networking. When I first started networking, I had a complete wrong idea about it. In fact, I didn't even want to do it because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the principle of it. I felt like networking was where you went to an event and you passed out your card, and people called you, right? And I always felt like wrong about doing that. I felt like I don't even understand why. It felt kind of easy to me, just like this. And then I did some reading, I did some research, and I came to understand that that's not what networking is all about. What it's about is showing up for service. It's about showing up for the other person to find out how you can support other people. It is not about going to an event and getting as many different cards as you want to get. It's about going and making a few authentic connections, having a few intense personal conversations, some discussions, and somebody that you can connect with beyond the moment in a real meaningful kind of way. If you approach it with who I'm going to this event to see who I might be able to support, right?
That's right.
It shifts completely. Like before this call today, I was at Black Caucus, and Morgan and I were talking about it earlier. And it's a huge event where thousands of people come to Washington, D.C. to the convention center every year. And in the old days, I might have spent a bunch of money for a booth at a place like that, right? Take my book, take some cards, and blah blah blah. And now I don't even do that, right? I get an admission ticket, right? But this is like different, right? Get an admission, and I walk around and see. I kind of explore the landscape and see where there might be some alignment, right?
Sure.
Who
That's it.
who I might be able to help. Because
That's
when you
right.
go to events like that, the decision makers come to those events. Like,
Sure.
so if you're in a booth and you're waiting for people to come to you, you're not getting to the people that you can collaborate and have and create bigger opportunities. What can we do together? So
Right.
I walk around and I look and I see who can I support with a partnership?
That's
Who,
right.
whose work can my work bring value to?
That's right.
How can my messaging help them, help the people that they serve?
Yeah.
How can I help them
Absolutely.
expand
That's
their
it.
footprint?
That's it.
In changing my belief system. And see, this is the thing about this work. This is the thing about brand new. This principle can apply not just to your weight, it
Oh
can
yeah.
apply to your business. Because
Sure.
once you put this system down, it will change every area of your life. And so once
Absolutely.
I started to change my belief system about what work networking meant and how I used it, oh my gosh.
Ha!
Oh my,
I
oh
love it. Love it. Love it.
my gosh.
What is the biggest drastic step you've ever taken in life or business? And I know you've got a
Oh,
lot of them.
oh my gosh. Um, I, I I think probably the biggest one that I made in 1987, and that's not to say that I haven't done some
Sure.
things since
Oh,
1987.
mhm.
But the biggest thing I did in 1987 was I was working in television, had a good job, had a good job, had just bought a house, and was on my up climbing up the corporate ladder. And I looked around and I thought, I am living in Texas. And nothing wrong with living in Texas, but this is the only place I have lived and worked my entire life. If I don't leave now, I never will. And I quit my job.
Mm,
I quit my good TV, my good TV job. I moved to Washington, D.C. Didn't have a job. I just
mm.
moved. I just moved to Washington, D.C. And this was like 1987. We didn't have cell phones.
Mhm,
We didn't have,
mhm.
we didn't have LinkedIn. We didn't have any of that stuff. I moved up there on a wing and a prayer. Packed up everything in my little Honda Accord. I put my house up for rent and
Mhm.
moved to DC. And I will tell you something. That act freed me. It
Mm.
it freed me. It freed me to know that I could leave something behind and step into something new. It built the skill. It built the skill to start over with nothing.
Right.
And I have done it a couple of times. But
Right.
once you do it, you know you can do it.
Right.
Once you do it, you don't it has taken away fear.
Sure.
I'm not afraid of the downs. Not
Sure.
at all. Because
Sure.
I I came with didn't know anybody, right? Didn't have a job. And it just that I that I think is probably the most because people, oh my, you what? You're going
Right.
where?
Right. Right. Right.
You don't have
And,
a job. This was
and were
1987.
and were you single?
Yes.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
you had already achieved what most Black Americans then getting the house, having a good job, and you just up and left it. Yeah, girl, that is drastic. Well, I'm gonna say this. It's drastic to wear that hair and those earrings too. I'm just tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
Yes, please. If you want to get in touch with me, I would love to connect with you. You can email me directly at michellepettis.com. I read all my emails. They come directly to me. You can follow me on social media at I am brand new now. And you know what that I am brand new now is all about. That's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, and it's on X. If you would like to get a copy of my book, you can get that at leavinglarge.com. I will sign it. I'll send it to you and it'll be all good.
Well, thank you for sending me a copy of the book as well. Michelle, I love your energy. I will see you soon. And I just thank you for taking a few minutes to share your food feelings freedom.
Yes. Food
Got
feelings. I'm using that, Toni. Yes. I'm
it.
using it.
Awesome. We'll be right back after this message. Can you say, wow, she is a ball of fire? And I just loved her message. You got to work on the upstairs before you can work on, or while you're working on the physical, you got to work on the mental. So thank you, Michelle, for coming to the show. Listen, if you want to get a copy of the book, Show Up, Be Up, Follow Up to Blow Up, go to showuptoblowup.com. If you want to connect with me, at meet with ToniHarrisTaylor.com and schedule a one-to-one. And then, of course, if you enjoy the show, share it with your network. That's how you can help a sister out. Share the show, put your 2 cents with it, and invite people to check it out. This is Toni Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and we will see you next week. Bye.